say that the parenting commanded by the private sector. Let's at least off of Concessions, another than tell us it's not standard. And again, we need to say what it is yours. That's all that officially is not standard. Unless some everybody has that where we start for the elections in better uses in East Africa. I'm your host, George. And today, honored to welcome the Atonga milestones alongside we are Atonga. The Atonga is a veteran of maritime engineering and prepared in the problem. So the master is. Yes, the blessings that are facing us in our region this time. And we are talking about the developments of the SPI, moving on to Kisumu, moving on to Uganda. We are talking about access measures, states regularly, semester, all of it are regional skills, and we feel specialized about his vision. And now that's the other time. Now, it's more than a fact, if he, okay, this almost is about that. I'd like him to give it his market. So, my best is especially I told them the most people, I think it's the landscape. After that, I told them about the philosophy, from the philosophy, like the group of people, where we actually the one who is making the chemical engineering. At that time, I also trained for operations and hospital. I didn't ask the ladder to help to get a manager. I got a number of senior police in the report. Until I returned in the year 2003, when I was getting another benefit. Later, I was absorbed by the government and the Ministry of Transport. I gave the advice affected by America for the Department of City Maritime. And America was here and here. During all this time, the police force were the most challenging times in it. There's an engineer at the point. The most challenging time was when you have of the youth. You have to get your equipment. So I was unexpected. I found the commission on wise. The most challenging is all to adopting and then the cost is really quickly. Okay. But over time, the court the support of the government is that they don't have enough money. So the modernization of the system is the court. And also a function of the court of the specific attack. After we were seeing that, also remember the Italy infrastructure. The infrastructure attracts listeners. Yes, it's the one who advanced in the infrastructure around the world. So, as you found that the people of most about the infrastructure of the development. So, the development sector we want so these are challenges, but we went to the at that point. When we need to see relevance to do it. While we have the mostly of the 3 months and 10 days. The army would ideas one thing. What of them if you have the things the idea of the one of the developer one with domestic efforts. You should not do all the time the consequence of lack of sleep at the time. But the main option is to deal with this low temperature. For example, about 60% of people for Kenya are the same for food. Because advisory, we do that kind of use for the customer to the lobby. The rest of the time is time for us to take the value. the philosophy of life. The intention was to bring the currency of the customers and the customers. The first thing he has to mind. You know, congratulations. And what's been the challenge? Because when the inland central government is very hard to contest. And after the port has been invested, the port wants to capital. And the inland central government is not. To the extent that over the first time it was talking about the ports investing in the country. And part of the reason why we have that suggestion that the inland central government again deserted okay? And now you bring them back when they discover them, they have reduced their capacity, that didn't have a study. What's the difference? The inland central government were based to light and really transport. That's right. The main mode of demonstration of service is the port inland taking a better it's meant to get in your hand. That's right. The railway system collapsed. Now they were not stable. They didn't started to the logic of maritime to the inland central government, which meant the government is the concessioners. They only line in the year 2011. The concessioners, the real aware the government cannot promise money. They think we have here. It is so, what can happen after the inland central reports failed to work? The other freight stations were introduced in the year 2007.
Yes.
In Mombasa mainly, it started with the 2 and then grew up to over 12. Because now cargo was arriving in the port, and within 24 hours, they are moved to the inland, to the container freight stations, so that the cargo owners will then come and clear them from the container freight stations, but still paying the port charges. The only charge they paid extra was storage if the cargo stayed there longer than necessary. So the only way to handle what the inland container depots was not able to do was to introduce the container freight stations, like as an alternative.
Yes.
But again, that one also. Again, when the SGR came, the government directed that all the cargo should move by SGR to Nairobi. That all clearance be done from Nairobi, later extended to Naivasha. But again, the current government policy is such that the cargo owner is allowed to choose between rail and CFS. So, I think the importance should be given efforts. So now that the essence and the second, and of course the effective. The idea that it is convenient, when I mean it's inconvenient, yes. I think when I want to have the research about us in our parents for us in 72, I'm also building the plant. Do my time to the government, given myself in the ministry of person. What is your finding? Okay, first of all, because I went to the ministry, I was already on leave, family on leave pending retirement. I was recalled by the government to come and chair a committee that was responsible for moving cargo from road to rail in an effort to promote the SGR, because bearing in mind that the contract signed between the government and the fact that about 30% of the cargo has to go by rail, the amount of the council that is paying the loan, in what it is, they are going to levy. So, when that's been done, and then the example can then actually talk about the government down to the technical advisor to the Department of Shipping and Maritime. So the ministry is transferred then now it is the Department of Mining, Shipping and Maritime, I think, and Blue Economy.
Okay, yes, you have to actually quiz.
So, so you're now sitting there as advisor to government. And you're looking at shipping in general.
Yes.
We are talking about Lamu, talking about Mombasa, talking about Kisumu, and how do you assess our progress so far in that area? At that time, the biggest emphasis, and I thank the then PS in the Department of Shipping and Maritime, Nancy Karigitu, the focus was on Kenya to have its own shipping line.
That's all.
And because that would then save Kenyan importers and exporters on the levies, high levies that are charged by foreign shipping lines, Kenyan importers and exporters. So the emphasis that we promoted then was one, Kenya to have its own national shipping line, two, Kenyan seafarers to be onboarded on foreign vessels. You remember the traditional grounds were places like Philippines, Ukraine, and the rest. But at that time, our emphasis was to promote local Kenyan seafarers trained at Bandari College. I think that's interesting. I have an interest there. I'm in the managing director of Kenya National Shipping.
Yes.
I would like to hear what we are discussing first, my time. Yes. What was the government doing? Because I think that's the successive government. I'm not really clear about the conditions. As it is there, the new government that you see, I think CCA is said that it's the time. After our time, we put the debt limits of this country. So, of course, the foreign shipping line. The Concessioners have own shipping lines. Where the money is released and have the line and then do the number before and as many as possible. Remember, the social contract, make it as almost 20 years traffic shipping line, the normal ship, this is mandate. But the Sophia man at the end of the course, to say we have more shipping. So, for have the American nation, the Sophia who are landlord, the legal to do our own shipping. So, all the infrastructure means knowing the risk. The infrastructure community, we are looking at Kenya. And the Kenyan shipping line there in the south the community. And it was a good idea to pull them in Uganda on the New and we have because the government really changed over time. Yeah, I think that's a challenge. And I think for East Africa to get more benefit, it's a community. I like that really because people are going to my second, okay? But it's not really only the same. And Uganda has no interest. Uganda has no interest in it. You can see to them and see you can't compete with mass. Because number one, our people stability was saying that when they found their goods, they buy access to Mombasa, which means that they don't have any inflation at all on the freight that is being paid to Mombasa. And when they're exporting, they're also exporting therefore being Mombasa. And for that reason, we have no say on maritime mission.
Yes.
Yes. So how are we going to do that at a time that's one of the biggest communities? Like, we are going to get the different stability because we have the entire shipping before that's the right? And there was a project before about 16 that Koreans own the shipping line. They're able to tell them the team is 40% more. And the foreign shipping leverage like that. You expect you to go and see late, was not my trap or not shipping line. And they identify the local foreign shipping as the possibly we have to focus again. Now, very pessimistic. I just want to say that the motion is very large. And the department of the church is just coming, okay? And now then she's starting more cases. And all about this developing or sitting in the future. So that this officer will be to trade among sessions and allow peace to be comprehensive. And then if you want to transport every basic goods from one that is a few nation, the one from the Uganda and first country of the man. If you just the next, you know, to use the past of our country inside the practically. I thought that's a good idea. What is that? Take on this. Yes, it would have been a very good idea. I remember even when the Turkish initially came to Henry, it's initially unmotivated with it. So the then part of not out connectivity was away. Even today, it's when you walk as you find, or if you are the first of four, you will be able to capitalize. Okay? Because the way you think by a man, was certainly the number of shots involved in the event was such a economic wise was such a good idea. So what did you do? To support the address and waterways transport. We developed a standard waterway transport policy. The law was effective by the ministry. We also set up the ship operations with small sports policy. We also set up the ship building maintenance and repair strategy. In the ministry. And the idea was, for example, asking about network. The idea was to promote inland water transport in the lake. Looking at the hub, then you have the Steady Bay, Homa Bay, Salana Vista, Sori, the Holy Bay, Atonga Bay, then you have the Port Victoria and the airport. And there are others that were proposed. For example, the Steady Bay and the Lord is depending on the fires around my best young women, that is the fatherland. It's almost like so the Steady Bay normalize the word, even other parts of they are I think the two that I think that I think of course, one at the baby, one at the other. And then there was and on the other side of Syria, you have the Kenya, you have the Kenya beach, and the Kisumu town that we went about here, and of course, one of the things for the currency of Kenya. So the potential is there, the government has a policy on it. And the government. Okay? The potential of the investment. So far, we allow the investment to the country government. But the first thing is being around the policy. That's what they balance. If you see the whole and water transport, the similar programs you have in Hong Kong. Yes. Where you have these ferries and boats crisscrossing. Yes. From Kisumu County to Homa Bay County, Sierra County, back and forth. Yes. And I'm very busy. But we took those, when we were young. Of course, you would cross from Assembly Bay to Kimber Bay, to Homa Bay, and all these other places. And come from Homa Bay to Kisumu through Kimber Bay, and then board a train to Mombasa. In one ticket. Some can really to Mombasa. But I want to hear again, you saying that with all this knowledge that you have, with all the policies that are in place, with our government knowing who you have been, no one is talking to you about lake transport, about in their own investments on lake transport. There is one governor now after the 2022 elections. Yes. Went to the Minister of Transport. Yes. To seek for help and the knowledge in how to promote blue economy and inland water transport. That governor was told that the chief advisor of the government and for one of the countries. Yes. And that's what we have to do. Yes. And one of the those who are saying, yes. But that governor never approached me. Okay. So I was approaching me. Everybody knows I have it. Interesting. But I think when you have the message, the problem is that you are an engineer. If you are a marketer like me, I will market up more money so that this country, okay, will then be able to come through and influence this in their strategic plan. Because how are they going to develop? How are they going to trade? Because those countries as mini countries, okay, they must trade. They must inspire, invest in the right infrastructure, okay, for them to be able to trade with their neighbors who are across the border, okay? And they are coming. The only unfortunate thing is that they will come with their own equipment, not our equipment. Because, so, what would be your message out to the Lake Basin county governments, okay, on matters maritime? How they can take advantage of Lake Victoria as it is now and the coming of the SGR to Kisumu and Malaba. Fortunately, all the governors in the countries that surround the lake, they will satellite in the Lord. They know let them have. And our strategy, a few of them, yeah. That is it. You're an engineer. This is my friend, you're an engineer. You're not a marketer. I'm talking to a marketer. I think you need to be a preacher. For infrastructure development and the lake. Because God did not take me to Mombasa for almost 30 years, okay? And when you come back, you say you have the knowledge, but you're not going to sell it. No, I have already alerted all of them on what I know, what I can do to them about inland water transport system, maritime and blue economy. Yeah, that is it. Can I challenge you then to talk to the businessmen to come and invest? Because then you should be able to, you should be able to come and tell the community, these are the potential areas for investment that will make this part of the world more open to trade, more open to tourism, and so that the agricultural produce and minerals that can be exported and transported by the men of the community. Right. Right now you can see when we left government, our emphasis was to rebuild, rehabilitate formerly thought as a first priority, followed by after the day. Okay? And so they at home. The government emphasis has system by doing holiday in holiday county, and every day we insult, we send them the Sierra County and but it's not our share for one of them in the Mombasa County. And what is good for that count map for a start? But I can encourage private sector to the government to develop the infrastructure along all the places. The program and the support works are the only capitalizing in the water transport in the lake. One the one that is people. They think that those living in the times, they're exposed. There is a good opportunity. I've spent a lot. Because I remember some 5 years back, one the county governor, had approached for one of the house great investors to come and invest in infrastructure and also open the water system. So I know they are aware that I think why they are not taking it up. The governors are not taking it up. I don't know whether they are relying on the national government to make the infrastructure. I don't. So that's enough about the next. Let's talk about Lamu first. What was the government? What the government? Even government. What would be the policy in Lamu, that in Lamu? And why do you see the next episode continue? Something else. The idea is to talk to the first of Lamu is the death that the government has never got us. Because Lamu has a deep national economy. It's not to do anything between skill and the capital in Lamu. So, over the biggest things in the world to be carrying up is 24,000 activities. They need to cost 18 million dollars. Each one of us follow up with the best idea for people have this or the traffic of transit that for a transit of years here. So that the other means for this taking together in Salala, from Singapore, that kind of comes the next month, and then transit to other parts of the region. We don't know what this to buy. The government go and it just it's up here all the time. It's international. After now, Lamu can watch fully what I have to say. Yes, but I get a half here. But the government needs to develop infrastructure that has also and all infrastructure in the internet. But I think the leadership can run it and infrastructure. So I'm very good at the government moving it down. One of the surrounding investors in law in the port is congestion. And because in most external time that part of the problem is the discussion in decision making. The fact that the is part of the government, makes money for the government, but can't spend the money. It is my sign that the clause still was supernaturally. And it is allowed to invest, on give a person, that is an invest for the person. How clearly that I collected data from all the people in the population. That's a very uninfinite analysis. The finding is one that most of is the public space. This is for the citizen courts. The most citizen, the most citizen method is to do the direction of landlord. Landlord, for one Africa, takes up not from the 5-8%. One of the courts in Africa and landlord is the most preferred method to do it. So, public government can't go to the open. That's the way the written decision matrix. So the best way to go landlord. Immediate. And now you can stand that public management court is money. No matter how much investment in equipment and infrastructure, you cannot compare them with the courts that are in the concession out in the other places. And the point is the port of yes, I thought about when Mombasa was saying that it was in the pen. The reason was from certain was caught and you see already to get it is now the need is not in Africa, it comes from the systems, it comes from volume handling, and it's fitting the possible. You can't do about in the one. One is I don't don't want to take position. What is that saying? Okay? What does he say? About using some of these people, yeah, yeah. Particularly also in perspectives, not to that's why they respect the government. The government is very interested in terms of what we say from consulting in management should go language. Once less cities. That is very interesting. And that's that time. As a statement that is going to notice is Lord, and the Lord again and come out.
The second is the still means.
Yes.
Yes.
One turn around for a track not determining if the bottom of the Mombasa today, and that is going with 30 years. I'm saying this is going to do that because it's the court became a landlord, and now the performance that everyone else coming. The court of the house, because of the stance, so just like but I think that the only lesson, let's take a bit that themselves is maritime. They want to go to this, right? So that because they are not selling those, I don't consider right? Then the part is going to be, if the part is going to find some better, okay? Let me get around that thing, let's take it from state to that, right? And then let's attract more business comes coming in. But it's saying that they don't see the national asset, but the land is not. The only infrastructure is as the concession. Yes. It's not like that. No. You can, yeah. The fact that I can afford the senator. Yeah. Then they went back to the public. Yes. But the question, you can expect is that the private are managed by the private sector. And the family is the national system. And the family is the one that's backing. So I think that wherever I was again, I'm again challenged by favorite of the DC. When I was talking about, I think the one stuff that has been a challenge, okay? Because the understanding then that the port is being sold, okay? I think we should talk more on concessions. Even of the RFS, yes. We actually talk of concessions, and none of them fell out. It's not a concession. Yeah. So that we can attract policy performance in our course. And again, we need to explain to our people that when we are concessioning, we are not selling. We're not selling. The moment you make some concession in Kenya, say in Auzua, that is yes. The government still owns the port or the airport, but it is the management and operations which are privatized in order to reduce efficiency and effectiveness of sales. And you can even bring competition within the port because this is giving someone starting back. Yes. Okay? Yes. And someone else is on that. Yes. In the service that is delivered there, our example is number 7. In India. Yes. There was a very long period they have given to 4 operators. Each is competing against each other.
Basically.
That is it. So the government of India owns the port. Yes. Private sector operates, manages the port.
Yeah.
So then it's the next person, people also, to confess. Yes, but I don't have the concession the port. Bring people like you who have run ports, give them a part to run. And let our ports find some. The idea that the government is going to own it, I think it is something that you should really move away from. So I'm going to get a service against the let's have their role, but in front of all investors. Again, it is important that you allow the private sector to play their proper role. Okay? I mean, that's not a role. Then the most of that is much bigger than the local TV. But you just pick up a sound in the market. Yeah, you can get a stick. Put here, the protect now. You say, from under the net. We are talking about capital. They are 400 them. You don't want to let go. You don't know what you have about the other cities. You have the customer looking at it. That's concept with you. They really do something like that. But one concept is how the young people in the past year, watching the government, if you develop it, you start to order the time. You may say, I'm very ready. Ready. I'm very big. That's right. You buy it. The guy is just the case. I know that's why. But then it's the elements of desire need to be like a determinant of things. The best thing, the ones that will probably offer us, and with medicine. Other than just, okay? Not the things that the real estate department. Something was done, I think it's been so it's just a concessions, the concession, anything, maybe they're not doing the way what done the person was studying that they have a big job, but the first of life, they want to really this, very little. So I think that we have a message, especially, that's not going to be necessarily one, this dream about having knowing certain messages in last of the development in the city sector where that would move to better size message and the difference is another side in this place for us to bring about nothing is sitting on. The current rather than unusually when after the shipping line, what I'm advocating, but maybe the challenge of government is not as the focus to what we did. Again, this locally has to private. So they have a fully national shipping line, this is all every government owned by private sector. The ship credit that is still applying for that tax. You have to really have to go possible in the regional economy. From one since you get at the camera and this look at the fishing industry. What the business just against the capital. So that's what we say. So many people, this public person, the only one any people who are coming up, people who the one private assembly, because what you have said, it's not a different, it's not especially. But especially the focus is in 100% in the other. But looking at the operations, if you have been private, all of the and the first thing that is precision. I can apply to our African I know you know about your public health, know what is happening, things being done, and that's as far as economic. But very clear. You need to go to the direction, especially go to the direction landlord for tech, about our people, what we don't talk about Singapore. There are 4 efforts. We are restricted. Actually, 450 you only get to Singapore straight yes. If we are now the kind of sector, people do it. That's the thing of the policy. It's also the part of it. Come and run our port for us. There is so much more our port. The government will come to say and manage or operate the private sector. So the public sacrifices is only by African tech. People, public work, the citizens, and all the people get around the back and change and develop our infrastructure by introducing private sector investment, private management. We get to a sector where maybe 40% of government, 40% not the African. That is the message to Kenyans. So the next part today on the sector is the government, the university infrastructure. So that all the super communities, sponsored, infrastructure is first in the next one, the account, and also to the Uganda academy. I went to things that are working library, and you need to be open. So for these the potential that is there in the city is better. We have sometimes consider myself in the opinion, but which cases is in a certain sector. There is a lot more that's one city stuff. But I think what has come out is that it is important for us to make we have our styles like in terms of inventory and in terms of management and it is important that our allowed to be raised to be terms of service needed. But there are no makeup because of lack of funding or non-residence funding and error in the service delivery. We have also noticed and agreed here that if you don't have a job at the first day or in the next different area, by the time of the camp, the message is Kisumu and the message is Lamu, there will be a certain movement towards a human human being and the deed. And if it establishes those members of our communities, it's the areas of our cities, it's first thinking of the kind of investment that you occupy. But it makes Kenya and even will have the vision for promoting the rest of the life intra practices to those concessioners. If you have the next episode, I understand that the science in Atonga for veterans and something like that. Don't something that he said, he just left the career how to get the printer. And you are firing on the people and the post, the relationship counts that advances of that method. And Paul says, it's different. Thank you.